Good night. Yes, you are here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How is my lighting? I feel like I look shiny. A little bit better. Okay, so I'm glad that everybody is on time. Hey, Marion. What is a sauce? Well, we're just gonna wait a little bit longer, not too much, because we are about to get into a very heated discussion. Like I posted today, I found 15 different orgasms. I'm not going to discuss all of them tonight because some of them are really not worth discussing. Hi, Lynn. Good, you brought along your husband. I hope you guys have your husband. If your husband is watching with you, send me an eggplant emoji so that I know that your husband is watching with you, because we want to see the husbands. Hey, bro. We want to see the husbands, and I like that a guy was the first person to log in tonight. Actually, I saw two men, ladies, and they slipped down because I had two men beating it to the punch. Them with the yeah, and I love that because it means that they are interested in learning about orgasms. And that's a good sign for you ladies, because after this, these guys are going to be the one. Notice who log in, because those are going to be the husband material after this. Hey, Marla. So, we're going to start off slow. And then we're going to get into those, you know, those ones that are very, I think I had a lot of fun. Just let me say that first. I had a lot of fun doing research for this. I first learned about these orgasms, or that there were 15 different types of orgasms, when I went to my first sex toy convention. Now, I thought that I was just going to go there to learn more about sex toys, but I learned so much more, and I have been wanting to I have been wanting to find a way to get this information out to as much people as possible. And so I am so happy that now I get the chance to share this. I had so much fun doing additional research on them, and now I get to tell you guys about it. So, we're up to 55 people, and it's 8:05, so everybody else late. So let's get started. We'll start off slow, like I said, and then we're gonna speed it up and get into the heat of this thing. So, I hope you have your pen and papers. Take notes, and we'll try to get to some of the questions. I'm not sure how many questions we'll be able to get to tonight, depending on how long it goes. I we're trying to keep it within a reasonable time that Facebook does not just cut us off. So, the first orgasm that we are going to talk about tonight, who's excited, is a mental orgasm. So, what is a mental orgasm? The brain is at the opposite end of the vagina. So, how do you have a mental orgasm? So, the brain is the biggest sex organ, sorry. I'm all excited about orgasms. The brain is the biggest sex organ in the body. So basically, your brain tells your body to orgasm. So all of that information comes from the brain. So your brain runs things, and so through deep thought, like meditation, or through deep breathing exercises, those that practice yoga, I think, would appreciate this. You can achieve a mental orgasm. And when I thought about mental orgasm, and I feel that this mentally gets you to orgasm anywhere, I feel that your mind, not only your body, needs to be involved in it. So sex isn't just about what is going on with the body, but it's what's going on with your mind. You cannot achieve an orgasm if you are in the middle of having sex, in the middle of foreplay or anything like that, if you are thinking about work, if you're thinking about stress, if you're distracted, you're not going to have an orgasm. So that would only be appropriate that there is such a thing as a mental orgasm. Now, when I thought about it, I thought about the experience, and let me know if any of you have ever had this experience, because I have, and I just want to know that I'm not the only weird one. So, have you ever been in, ladies especially, have you ever been in like a deep sleep, and maybe you're kind of thinking about a guy or thinking about sex, and then you kind of just wake up and your body is just shaking as if though you are having an orgasm. Like you're actually feeling like you're having an orgasm. And you were fast asleep and it just shakes you and wakes you up. If you've ever had that experience, please let me know. Put a wet sign in the comments. I think it's similar to guys having a wet dream where they wake up and they've ejaculated all over your sheets. So that, I think, is the perfect example of what a wet dream, a mental orgasm would be, at least to me. So has that ever happened to anybody? Is it just me? Am I weird that, okay, yes, there we go. So at least two people there with me. I'm not alone. As long as, even if I'm a one person, I may be like, okay, I'm normal. So, moving on. 3 people. That's great. So, it's a thing. So, congratulations, ladies. You just had a mental orgasm. There you go. So, you can scratch that off your list. So, as we go along tonight, you write down the different orgasms and then you tick them off your list if you've had them or not. And if you haven't had them, then those are the ones that you need to focus on for the rest of your quarantine. So, the second orgasm that we're going to talk about is a nipple orgasm. So, that is, of course, the stimulation of the nipples. A lot of people are very sensitive in that area. If you're not sensitive in that area and you don't like people touching your nipples, that's fine as well. Not everybody is aroused by the nipple, but it is possible for just constant stimulating of the nipples that you can have an orgasm from that. Again, all of this ties into the mental So see, we already have some people saying it. So if your nipples are sensitive, your nipple does have like hundreds of nerve endings, so they make them very super sensitive to touch, and with enough attention to that, you can trigger an orgasm from that. So when your nipples are stimulated, those shoot off that information to the brain, and that is the same part of the brain that triggers an orgasm. So you then have an orgasm. Now, if you are not somebody that likes to be stimulated by your nipple and you want to try, there are things that you can do to kind of sensitize your nipple. So you could use what is like a nipple suction. So that is something like this. So this is something that is used medically for like inverted nipples. So you would basically place it over your nipple and you would turn it, and it creates a suction. Hopefully it creates a suction here. Hold on one second. So you turn it and it should create a suction, and it should suck your nipple in, and then it kind of just squeezes that nipple, and once you release it, the blood is now rushing to that nipple area, and that makes it sensitive. So you can use that, or you could use something like a little tiny bullet. You can use like a vibrating nipple clamp. So that would be something like this. It all depends though. Sometimes those things can be painful, so you want to use maybe something sensitive like a bullet that on a low vibration, and that helps you to stimulate the area, the areola, and that draws blood to it and it makes it sensitive. So then you can play with your nipple, and that way it can trigger a nipple orgasm. So now we are moving on. So one of the orgasms that I'm not going to discuss tonight is the clitoral orgasm. I feel that everybody knows where the clitoris is. It's probably the most popular place that anybody can orgasm from, and I'm sure that most of you already know about the clitoral orgasm. I will give you more information about that later on, but I'm not going to get into detail about the clitoral orgasm just because everybody knows where the clitoris is. Everybody probably, unless there is like something that actually happened to you that causes your clitoris not to be easily stimulated, everybody has had a clitoral orgasm. So let's go to what is called a U-spot orgasm. Now, what is the U-spot? Where the hell is that? I had to go looking. So, and as you are looking into this, take note of those things, and I do want you to try and experience these things on your own, or try it with your partner. Let your partner help you to find those places. It's going to bring you guys closer together, teach you about each other's bodies, and then it is of course only going to help your sexual experience together. So the U-spot is actually located under your clitoral hood. So it can be found in the erectile tissue around your urethra. So that's the hole that you urine from, and it looks like a U around the urethra. So I did not have an actual vagina, but I had a picture. Let me see, can you guys see that? And if you can see it, the U spot is where I highlighted in green. So let me know if you saw that. Are you seeing it? Okay. So that's the U spot. And so it said that it's kind of an upside down U, and it's very sensitive. So if you try to apply direct pressure to it, it can kind of give you like a painful kind of feeling because of its sensitivity, or it can be uncomfortable, not necessarily painful, but you want to kind of test it out, not just go in on it. Um, rub your fingers around it, see if that's somewhere that you are feeling sensitive. Now, keep in mind as we go along that not every area of your body that I mentioned here tonight that you're definitely going to be able to have an orgasm from. Um, Not everybody's body is the same. Of course, we know that. So take your time with yourself. Don't pressure yourself about, well, I don't know, not everything is going to feel good to everybody. Just like how I said earlier that not everybody likes to be stimulated by their nipple, not everybody likes to be stimulated in other areas. It may not feel comfortable to you, and of course, with sex, you want everything to be comfortable because how else are you going to enjoy it? So, for the U spot, you can just start with massaging it with your hands and fingers. See how it feels. If it does nothing for you, then it does nothing for you. If it does, if it gives you just a little slight sensation, kind of keep on at it. You could maybe add a little pressure, add a little toy, and see where it takes you. And if it doesn't take you anywhere, then it just doesn't take you anywhere. Don't beat up yourself about it, but at least try it. That's how we learn. That's how we learn our bodies. A good way to get at that is also with a partner. Your partner can use his or her tongue, and kind of focus on that area. It is near the clitoris as well, so I guess it would be kind of like a dual area that they will be focusing on. So you can try that to try to achieve a U-spot orgasm. Now, this one was very interesting. It's called a coregasm. Now, we refer to our core as our abdominal muscle or abdominal area. That's where the core is. And so some people have actually achieved an orgasm during an ab workout. Now, I know after this, that means everybody want to have six-pack abs because everybody want to do abs because everybody want to try catch one coregasm. Hey, we're probably come out of quarantine just in time for summer, so you trying to achieve a coregasm will have your summer body looking ready. And, we want good with that. So, some people have reported that they've had an orgasm from just doing abdominal workout, which is kind of understandable because when you're doing abs, you're squeezing the pelvic muscles, so it's kind of like a Kegel exercise as well. So while you're doing that core workout, it engages those muscles and you're contracting that pelvic floor. There is actually a medical term for a core orgasm, and that is called an EIO, which is an exercise-induced orgasm, or an exercise-induced sexual pleasure. So EISP. Of course, I would like to encourage everybody to do additional research after this. I'm only here to pique your interest and let you know that it's out there. Come and get it. So, the best way to achieve a coregasm is using or doing Kegel exercises, or you could probably use Kegel balls. So something like these. Now these are weighted as well, so it really works out your pelvic floor. It makes it work a little bit harder, and it has this string attached to the end, so you don't have to worry about it getting lost up in there. It won't get lost. Make sure the string stays out, or at the very least very close to your entrance. And so doing Kegel exercises and contracting those pelvic muscles can actually allow you or stimulate you into an orgasm. At the very least, it's going to get you extremely lubricated and ready for action. So that's something that you can do. Or one thing I wanted to ask, because when I thought about this, I also thought about, has this, again, let me know if this has ever happened to you. I need to see thumbs up or something in the comments. Let me know if this has ever happened to you. Have you ever held in your pee or held in the urge to make an elimination, and held it in so long because probably you were out and you didn't have access to a bathroom? So by the time you got home and you rushed into that bathroom and you sat down and you released, it felt so good. Like, it felt like it was just stimulating your entire body, like coal seed come over you, and it just feel so good, even though it's something so not attractive that you're doing. Have you ever had that feeling? You're holding in your pee, you're holding in so much that once you get to the bathroom, you release and it's like, and it just feels like, man, all your nipple get hard and all. Has that ever happened to anybody? Let me see you comment. Let me see you say yes, a thumbs up, something. Has it happened to you? Again, I really need to know that I'm not alone here. And if it has happened to you, take that off. You had a orgasm. Perfect. So, but now, in trying to achieve your orgasm, do not, those of you that have not had it yet, do not go around holding in your pee, trying to get that. Holding in your pee causes a urinary tract infection. Don't hold it in, that's not a good thing. So, let's move on to the big A. All right, it has happened. So, the big A, which is, I think it's going to be our next topic for next week, but an anal orgasm. So, of course, your anus has nerves in and around it, and it is incredibly easy to get aroused. Again, if you've ever had to make an elimination and it was difficult to do, maybe had constipation, or you would feel a sensation coming from that area, so that again is a form of having an anal orgasm. But the type of anal orgasms that we want to talk about, or we're talking about here, is from, having something inserted into your anus. Either it's a butt plug, it's a dildo, anal beads, a finger, or a penis. Now, you don't have to feel, or you don't have to necessarily engage in full anal sex to have an anal orgasm. Some people, just around the anus is sensitive enough for them to just play around. So for those persons that, would have a partner that does not mind, what's the term that they use? Eating the booty like groceries, kind of. So that can stimulate an orgasm too, just by doing that. So it does not necessarily mean that you have to put some foreign object in your anus. But if you do, and if you want to feel that, so if you want to take that orgasm to another level, then you can use something. You can start out small by using your finger, or have your partner use their finger, or you can use a butt plug, which is something like this. It's very small, so it's not too big. And first rule is, anything that you put in your butt needs to have a wide base at the end so that it does not go up, because it's not going to come back down and you're going to end up in an emergency room. Yes, it's called tossing the salad and black kiss. First time I hear that black kiss one, but okay. So if you're putting anything in your anus, make sure that it has something to stop it from going all the way in. Or if it's an anal bead, make sure it has an ending. Most of them have an ending kind of like this one to be able to pull it out. Do not take it all the way up. It's going to get lost. It's not going to come back down without medical help. And I don't want anybody to go to the hospital and say, Pleasure Spot sent them there. No, don't do that. So, if you are going to do that, make sure if you're going to use a toy, make sure that it's either silicone, glass, or metal. Why? Because these are the most non-porous material that you can find. They do not hold bacteria, and you can, so they will not cause an infection easily. Make sure you clean your toy before and after every use. If you're going to use a dildo or a vibrator, make sure that you put a condom over it. If you're going to use a penis, make sure you put a condom over it. And you know, if you want to use a glove for your finger, then that's fine. You can do that as well. Always make sure you use anal lube. It's thicker, so because of course the anus does not self lubricate, so make sure that you use anal lube so that it can stay a lot of anal lube. It stays longer, so that you can enjoy your anal orgasm. So also, it is sometimes recommended to do anal douching. That is, if you're familiar with what a douche is, it's basically the same kind of douche bottle, to make sure you clean that area and that tract before you insert anything in there, especially if you have recently had an elimination. If you have not, then, you know, or you just took a shower, then maybe you're good, and you haven't had an elimination in a while, then that's good. But if you want to be extra clean back there, you can use an anal douche to clean that area out. Now, moving right along, we're going to get into the vaginal orgasm. Now, I saw a post today that said that basically a person that's a sex educator was saying that it's impossible for a woman to have a vaginal orgasm. So I was kind of like, wait, hold on. I thought I had one already. So I did some research, and I even messaged some other sex educators that I know, that are US based, and they are well known. I follow them on Instagram. So I messaged them, and all of them said, no, that's not a true statement. You can have a vaginal orgasm. I'm like, yes, I know that I'm right. So, but it's harder to achieve than regular orgasms, simply because the vagina, it doesn't have any nerve endings in it, or it doesn't have any. Hold on, let me go back from the beginning. Yeah. So there are no nerve endings inside the vagina. And so, but there are a lot of different zones inside the vagina that once you stimulate them, or you stimulate kind of a combination of them, it will trigger an orgasm that comes from within. And it causes the vagina muscles to pulsate, and that in itself sends that vibration. Remember, the clitoris also extends to behind, not just in front. So that is also located within the vagina. The G spot is within the vagina. The A spot, which we're going to talk about afterwards, you have the O spot or the P spot, that's also located inside of the vagina. So once we have kind of a stimulation of all these different spots together in some type of movement, it is possible for you to have a vaginal orgasm. It's not easy, and it takes a certain type of technique, and it takes time. You have to know your body in order to be able to have a vaginal orgasm. And it takes what you would call a deeper or more, it's a deeper type of orgasm, and those orgasms actually tend to last a little longer, so your body will continue to pulsate maybe even 10 to 30 seconds after you've actually orgasmed. So and it's a good thing that the vagina does not have actual nerve endings in there. I mean, can you imagine having a child and having to have that child pass through and all those nerve endings are there? It's painful enough, isn't it? So the backside of the clitoris is also inside the vagina, and the zones that we're going to talk about, it's inside the vagina. So once you have some type of synchronization, yeah, your partner does need to know your spots as well. So you need to find them and then let your partner know where they are. So a kind of synchronization of the stimulation of all of these together would cause a vaginal orgasm. So you can achieve that with a dildo or a vibrator. I highly recommend using a dildo, just because a dildo is more similar to an actual penis. Because it takes longer to achieve, depending on how long your partner can go, you might not necessarily be able to achieve it with your partner until you have actually learned how to achieve it yourself, and then you could guide your partner as to the different techniques to use to help you achieve one. So the vibrator, for me, I think it tends to kind of overstimulate, and you want to get a real sense of where everything is. You want to feel everything. Again, your mind has to be inside of your vagina so that you can be aware of everything that's going on. Every spot that it hits, then you need to know, oh, that was nice. Oh, that wasn't so nice. So that you can know where to concentrate on and where to say, okay, no, I didn't like that. So I think the best positions that would help you to achieve these are doggy style. And again, it's all about tempo and the different a faster tempo at maybe a harder pace would get you there. Doggy style without stimulation. A lot of us, when we do doggy style position, we tend to have our partner move her hand around, or move their hand around, or you move your hand to stimulate your clitoris so that you can have an orgasm, because sometimes in doggy style it is hard to have an orgasm, and that's because it is not stimulating or causing friction against the clitoris. So a doggy style or woman on top. So when you're on top, though, you don't want to lean forward. Again, when we're on top, we tend to lean our body forward because we're trying to reach that friction for the clitoris to rub on. So you kind of just have to sit upright in a 90-degree angle, and then if you know your tempo and if you know your pace, then you would be able to control that tempo and that pace to achieve the orgasm, to achieve a vaginal orgasm. When your partner when you have learned your tempo and your pace, you can teach your partner your tempo and your pace, and then your partner can help you to achieve that vaginal orgasm. So let's get into, and when you're on top, instead of going back and forth tends to stimulate the clitoris. What you want to do is kind of move around your waist around in a circular, or your pelvic muscles around in a circular area. So that will help it to kind of massage around inside the vagina, and then that helps it to stimulate all the different zones that are inside of the vagina. Again, that is one of the most powerful orgasms that you can have, and it lasts even after your partner is out of you. So talking about these spots that are inside the vagina, you have the G spot. Of course, everybody knows where the G spot is. Hopefully, if you don't know, that's like the second most popular spot after the clitoris. So the G spot is that spot. It's located about 5 to 8 centimeters on the front of the vaginal wall between the vaginal opening and the urethra, and it's a very sensitive area. This is the area where once you get that very strong sensual arousal from, and that is the area that would trigger what a female ejaculation, or what we call squirting. So that G spot, once stimulated properly, would allow you to squirt. Not everybody has the talent to squirt. Don't be forcing yourself and wondering why. I think it's a combination of techniques. It's not everybody knows how to squirt, so don't be forcing yourself or forcing your partner, be mad with your partner because you have not squirted. It's not something that happens to everybody. I think it's a combination of different things along with the texture of your own body fluids. So the G spot, you can find your own G spot, of course, by just inserting your finger, or you can use a toy that has a curve on it. So if you want something that this is something that's good for it, and then you can angle it however you want. So you notice that curve, and then you can go around and just, stimulate that area. It's like the dime size area, so you have a lot to play around. You don't have a lot to play around with, so you should not have a hard time finding it. Here's another one. This is a glass dildo, and of course you can see the curve in it. There you go. So that's something that's very good. This glass dildo actually has an anal or a butt plug at the end of it, so that's also very good. You get 2 toys in one. So that's the G spot. How can you achieve a G spot? The best position again would be woman on top, but instead of leaning forward, you kind of more lean backwards, so that that pressure can be pressed against the front of you. And if you're lucky enough to have a partner that has a curve, girl, you don't have to do much work at all now, do you? So moving on to a more difficult spot to find, which is also located in the vagina. Oh, that glass dildo is, I think it's 150. So the A spot. So the A spot is technically known as the anterior fornix. So it's an erogenous zone, and it's a pleasure point that is located deep inside of the vagina. So it's towards the stomach. So it's at the front. It's at the front of your vagina, and it's almost at the top, where the top of the top where the vagina starts to curve and you meet the cervix. So it's very far up. So to get that, you would need somebody with a little larger penis. The size of a woman's vagina is different for everybody. So maybe for some, 5 inches is good. Maybe for some, they'll need more. It all depends on you, and you won't know how much inches you need unless you know your own vagina. Now, that is it's about 2 inches higher than the G spot. So if you found your G spot, go up about 2 inches or more and just kind of feel around there to see if you can find it. Just touch around to see where, when you touch, you get some type of sensitivity, and then just kind of massage that area and play around with it to see if you do get some type of stimulation from it. Again, not every area you would be able to have an orgasm from. Especially if your body is not used to be stimulated in that area. It takes a while for your body to get used to it. At first, it may not feel comfortable. It may feel painful. Start off slow with everything and make sure that you don't kind of just rush into it. So that area is made up of sensitive tissue and it lubricates. So that area would cause you to get even wetter than, just normal type of wet that you get when you're aroused. So a good vibrator to use for that would be a rabbit vibrator or a G-spot curve like the one that I just showed you, but you would want to use something that is flexible or can flex around the pelvic bone. Experts have recommended that you use something, a penis or a toy that is at least 5 inches long. Or if your partner has long fingers, you can have them, help you to experiment. Again, the thing with having your partner helping you is that they don't necessarily know what they're doing. They won't know when they hit a spot that is sensitive. You will know when you hit your sensitive spot, so that when your partner hits that spot, then you will be able to tell them, hey, that's the spot. It's like sending somebody that does not know what they're looking for in to look for something that only you would know where it is. So because of its location, it may be harder to reach. So again, that's something that's going to take, it's not going to be something that you find right away. It takes a while to find it, and then it takes a while to develop an appreciation for the type of stimulation that you get from it. If it's not comfortable for you, then just don't worry about it. Now, once you've reached that A spot, switch your fingers to 180 degree and go to the back. So that's between the cervix and the anal wall, and that is where you are going to find your P spot. So that is or it's also, I think, called the O spot. So that's behind the cervix near the anal wall. It's like 180 degrees from the A spot, and you can stimulate that spot using a double penetrator or a double-ended dildo. So something like this is called a double penetrator. You can achieve that orgasm using the reversed cowgirl position. So it's basically woman on top but reversed, and then you lean forward instead of backward. You lean forward towards the feet. That's a good way to stimulate that area, or at least to try to get some type of stimulation. It may be painful. Again, if you're using a curved toy, then instead of if this is the front of your vagina, then turn that toy around and just go slow. Again, it may feel weird and it may not do anything for you at the beginning. Don't force it, and definitely don't overthink it. It's not unnormal if you're not feeling anything. So make sure that just don't beat up yourself about it. These are unusual positions. And so a vaginal orgasm now is where your partner is kind of now inside of you, and it's kind of just going around, I would think, or I would say, where you're hitting all of these areas. You're hitting against the anal wall, you're hitting against the front wall of your vagina, where all that G spot, A spot, all of those is, and a combination of that again triggers that vaginal orgasm, which is a strong orgasm. And you'll notice that it is a strong orgasm because you're getting stimulated from all these areas within the vagina. So the next one that we're going to talk about is the mouth orgasm or oral orgasm, not to be mistaken with oral sex. It's not oral sex, it's just kissing. So kissing, who can remember being young and starting to kiss for the first time, how you feel? And when you're young, all you do is kiss, and you touch, you feel. Now, so kissing, that combines three senses. You have your sense of taste, your sense of touch, and your sense of smell. So imagine kissing somebody that you're very, very, very attracted to, and their mouth smells so minty fresh, and they're touching you, like they're hugging you, or they're touching the small of your back, and then they have on like that favorite cologne. All of that all of that all of that feeling combined together with just kissing the lips, then there you can actually achieve an orgasm from the mouth doing something like that. Now, according to the Kama Sutra, a woman's mouth perfectly mirrors the genitals. So the lips would be the labia, and then the Cupid's bow, which is that little area right at the top here, that dip, that would be the clitoris, and that palate that comes down here above the teeth, that would be the G spot. So later on or tomorrow, I am going to upload a video because we're going to make a challenge out of this. I would like to challenge you, those of you that have a partner. The challenge is, and you'll hear more about it tomorrow, I want you to try to achieve a mouth orgasm. Just kissing, and I'm going to explain to you tomorrow exactly how to get that done. Just kissing, just using your sense of taste, touch, and smell. And so look out for that challenge tomorrow. That's going to get you closer to winning a prize. So let's remember, when we were younger, we used to kiss for hours and hours before sex came and ruined everything, remember? Or I shouldn't say ruin everything, but before sex came in and made everything more complicated, we were quite fine just kissing for an hour on our back step, weren't we? So the final orgasm that we're going to talk about is the zone-gasm. So zones, when we're talking about zones, we're talking about all the erogenous zones that we have. That could be your inner thighs, behind your knee, your stomach, your foot, your lower back, your neck, your ears, all of these areas. Those are your erogenous zones. Some of you may have those zones in places that you don't necessarily, that you know about. It's good to show your partner where those are. Now, one of the things that I want to know if anybody remembers this. Remember when we used to young, and the guys would come and they would touch inside your hand like this, and then everybody like, ooh, that means something nasty. Well, guess what? The inside of your palm is an E zone. So that is actually an erogenous zone. So they were doing something nasty. They were trying to stimulate you. So what's good for having zone-gasms? Use a bullet. Yes, they're called weak spots. Use a bullet, use your tongue, use a feather, use your hand, a finger, use your lips. You can use temperature play, so you could use ice, mint, something warm like a massaging oil, things like that. We get that kind of sensual feeling like when we're doing like something like a full body massage, that if we, just because we're there and we don't want to have the people that are massaging us think of us differently, but if you're getting a very good full body massage, then you know what I mean when I say you have zones. Now, this is going to be the second challenge that I'm going to give you. Again, I'm going to upload the video with the challenge tomorrow, and we're going to have, I want to have you guys, Andrews, wow. So I want to have you guys try this. You can try it on yourself, but you can try it with your partner, and I want you to try to achieve an orgasm just from stimulating your erogenous zones, nothing else. So look out for that challenge this week. I'm going to upload them, and so I want you to write back to me and let me know how that went for you. And once you do that, the person with the best explanation, I won't say your name or anything, but you can win a prize for you and your partner. So I'm going to let you know about that. So there are more orgasms that we can talk about. I wanted to hit the better ones tonight. But during the week, I will be putting out more information about all of them, all 15 of the different orgasms. I'll be sharing pictures of the toys that you can use to achieve them. I'll be sharing more information and about them, and I'll be even sharing the sexual positions that you can use with your partner to achieve each of these types of orgasms. So, look out for that during the week. And I want to say a special thanks to Miss Sharonda Parker, the Real Glamazon Sayomi, for sending me more information about this, especially the one with the vaginal orgasm. And Miss Jet Setting Jasmine, I'm going to put a link for you guys to follow their pages. Always do your research, guys. Don't just rely on what everybody or what anybody else says. This presentation was to get you. Am I still on? Hold on. Am I still on? Can you say yes or no if you can still hear me, if I'm still on? I kind of saw that something. Okay, I am on. Okay, I'm still on. So, yeah, we're just wrapping up here. Again, I'll post more detailed information about this on the page. Look out for it. It's going to be throughout the week. So this conversation does not end here. We're going to be having this conversation all week. And also, one of the most important things that I want you to remember from here or from tonight, and while you go about exploring these different types of orgasms, is that I don't want you to so these parts of the bodies that we're trying to stimulate are new. They're not parts of the bodies that we're used to having stimulation, that we even knew that we could get stimulation from. So they've been taken for granted for so long. It's not going to happen just because you touch it. It's not going to happen like that. It's going to take a while for you to get it. So it's going to require a lot of patience and a lot of time and a lot of practice, and you're going to have to try different techniques in order to achieve them if you truly want to challenge yourself and achieve those. So make sure that your mind is right. You're not stressed out. You're calm. You're collected. Take deep breaths. Do some type of meditation before you start to try them. Because, if you're under pressure, you're under stress, you're feeling anxious, it's not going to happen. Whether you're trying it by yourself or whether or not you're trying it with a partner, it's just not going to happen. You're late, Miss Barrow. So try to focus on the feeling. You want to focus on the feeling that you get when you're touching these areas or trying to get these parts of the body. Again, I feel that once you've touched your body and once you feel that area and you know what area feels sensitive, then once you're with your partner, it's not about leaving out your partner. It's about helping your partner. I think the only time a man will not have a problem with you telling him what to do is when he's inside of you. So once you know your spots that when you're in certain positions, then you can say, hey babe, right there, continue, go faster, go slower. And that helps both of you to have a better sexual experience. So you touching yourself does not necessarily, or trying to stimulate yourself is not foregoing your partner. It's helping your partner. Your partner is not, maybe you can feel like you're one together, but your partner is not feeling the things that you're feeling. And you have to be able to describe that feeling to your partner so that you can help your partner to help you. That way, your partner won't feel that pressure to, last 30 minutes in a bed or something like that because you're taking a longer time to come. You will be able to have an orgasm quicker because you'll know exactly what to do. And your partner will know exactly what to do if he wants you to have an orgasm. So it's not being selfish, it's not leaving your partner out. You need to find out before you can teach your partner what to do. You need to learn what to do. Don't feel bad if you haven't heard of any of this before, because a lot of us haven't. Some people older than us haven't heard of these before. So don't feel bad about what you don't know. Feel bad about what you know exists but you refuse to learn about it. Um, so just think about it as having fun, exploration, and make sure, again, like the first orgasm we talked about, make sure your mind is in it. You don't want your mind to be all over the place. Focus, go inside your body so that you can feel, and it's kind of walking through everything that's going on in there with your body. And the orgasm is not your, at this point, when you're testing, when you're trying, orgasm is not your final goal. It's about finding out the sensations and what feels good. So don't feel bad if you don't achieve an orgasm at the first time trying, or don't feel bad if you don't like it. That's okay. Nothing is wrong with that. We all like different things. So just don't focus on finishing. Don't focus on orgasm. I know, you focus on orgasm when you've learned what you need to know and about your body. But until for now, if we're just exploring, we're trying to find out these areas in our body. Just focus on what you feel. Dala, you're late and you want to get dumped because you missed the whole talk about having orgasms. Now you won't know how to make a woman have an orgasm. What do you want to know? So, that was a wrap up. Look out this week. We're going to be talking about orgasms all week. So if you're late like Dala, then you will get all the information. I'm going to post it up with additional information, and then make sure, so you have to be following the page on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, and I also have a YouTube page, so I'll be uploading these videos to that YouTube page as well. And I'll share the links to all of those and more. So look out for that this week. We're going to have some fun. Look out for the challenges because I want you to win. So first place for the challenge, the person that gives the best description of what they felt with the zone orgasm and the kissing orgasm, that person will receive a gift basket with products from Pleasure Spot. And your second place, I'm going to pick 3 persons. So hopefully at least 3 persons submit. So I'm going to pick 3 winners. So the first winner will get the gift basket. The second person will get a $75 gift certificate from Pleasure Spot, and the third place is going to get a $50 gift certificate so that you can purchase things that are going to help you to achieve 15 different types of orgasms. Some of them we'll never be able to achieve, but that's okay. So I'm looking forward to helping you guys achieve as many of these orgasms as you can. Let me know how many of these you have already had, and then now you have a list of more types that you can try. So thank you guys so much. Make sure you follow on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. I'll drop those links, and look forward to next week. I think the topic next week is going to be anal sex. At least that was the most popular one. So look out for that. I think that's going to be pretty interesting as well. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and have a good night.